Have you ever stopped to consider how much of our collective future rests in the hands of mothers? Like, not just in raising children, but shaping the nervous systems of the next generation. So, welcome back to Women on the Brink. And I probably should have done this episode a couple of weeks ago when it was Mother's Day, but I figure it's never too late to pay tribute to the great mums out there. But I want to say, have you ever noticed how much falls into the laps of mums? And it's not just the obvious things like, lunches and appointments and bedtime routines and the emotional regulation of a household, even though those things matter too. But it's more the invisible things that, no one really talks about, the responsibility of shaping another person's nervous system. I was reading about a study recently that had to do with lab rats and addiction, and researchers found that baby rats who were not properly nurtured by their mothers early in life were more likely to develop susceptibility to substance use later on. And now, before anybody freaks out, this is not to say mothers cause freaking addiction. That is not what we're saying here. It would be far too simplistic, and it could be very harmful. We know susceptibility to addiction is very complex, and it involves genetics and trauma and environment and socioeconomic conditions, community, stress, access to support, lots of things. And of course, we humans were not lab rats. But the study brings up something really important. Early nurturing matters, and attachment matters. Feeling safe in your body matters. And who, historically and culturally, has been handed the primary responsibility for that? Us, mothers, women. And this is where we have to pause because what a crazy, impossible burden. We expect mothers to nurture perfectly. Well, they're often underslept, undersupported, under-resourced, and even very emotionally overwhelmed themselves. And we tell women, your child's future depends on a secure attachment. And then we send mothers home from the hospital with a newborn and basically say, yeah, good luck. Hope you have a village out there to help you out. Hope you're able to get some rest. There's not much collective care, just pressure to breastfeed and to bond and to be patient and pressure to work or stay at home or pressure to love every moment of motherhood. And that somehow through all this, we don't mess it up. So it's no wonder that so many mothers are anxious or burnt out. And it's no wonder guilt has become almost synonymous with motherhood. Because culturally, we have quietly placed the emotional fate of future generations on women's shoulders. And that's a lot. And really, it's too much. Let's face it, it matters a lot because humans need attunement. We need someone who sees us, who soothes us and responds to us, right? But that role was never meant to belong to just one exhausted person. It was meant to belong to a community, a village where there's grandparents and aunts and uncles and neighbors and friends, fathers, partners, teachers, doulas. The burden was never supposed to be carried alone. Somewhere along the way, we privatized caregiving. We isolated mothers and then we blamed them for struggling. And I think many women feel this, even if they've never put words to it. It's that low grade pressure humming beneath everyday life. Am I doing enough? Am I damaging my child somehow? Will they one day talk about me in therapy? Oh, yeah. It's funny, but not really, because I know my kids have talked about me in therapy. But underneath that joke is fear, the fear of failing at probably the most important job in the world. So today's invitation could be this. Can we stop asking mothers to carry this alone? And can we stop making women solely responsible for the emotional outcomes of children while giving the mothers themselves less and less support? And if you're a mom listening, I want you to hear this. Your job was never to be perfect or to prevent all pain or guarantee outcomes with your kids. Your job is just to love and to repair and to keep showing up because that's enough. And actually, I mean, really, that's everything. And maybe our collective healing begins when we stop asking, what's wrong with mothers and start asking, what kind of world have we built around them? Who supports the nurturer? Because if we want healthier kids, healthier families, and healthier communities, I mean, let's face it, that's where it all needs to begin.